And we can talk about this off the top. They are going to take this format, and New Japan will promote a second night at the Tokyo Dome on January 5th. This will be in addition to Wrestle Kingdom 19, so they will run the Tokyo Dome on back-to-back nights. And the second night will be promoted as Wrestle Dynasty and feature New Japan, AEW, CMLL, ROH, and Stardom talent. So in essence, you're taking the concept of Forbidden Door and exporting it to Japan. This would be a New Japan run show. And it is a Saturday, Sunday combo, this January 4th and 5th. So typically that will favor New Japan's ability, but it is a return to back-to-back nights at the Tokyo Dome, which a few years ago they realized we did not have the demand for 2 nights, but they will attempt that in 2025.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I think a lot of audiences have been asking, are we going to get a Japanese equivalent of Forbidden Door at any point? And sure enough, they booked the biggest building you could possibly book in Japan in order to do something like it. I think it's a major hook for international audiences who might at this point be lapsed fans of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Considering, I would say, I think the quality of Forbidden Door and the quality of like the talent you have to choose from with all of these promotions band together, it might even be the type of thing that might attract international travelers to consider going to Japan for one of these double headers again. You're getting a culmination of your New Japan Pro Wrestling stories on that first night, and the second night you're getting a Forbidden Door type of event in the Tokyo Dome. So I think it's a great idea. I find it interesting that they felt this was big enough to attempt, and instead of like doing something with the what do they call it, the United Japanese Wrestling conglomeration,
the 9 promotions that are doing their fundraising shows together this year.
Yeah, like those that sort of like entity isn't running a Tokyo Dome, but they felt like an AEW, CMLL, and Stardom co-promoted event is capable of doing it. And when you just look at the star power, like represented on tonight's roster, for instance, I'm already very much looking forward to seeing what they come up with. Last thing I want to ask you about, Bruce, is what's your reaction to Wrestle Dynasty?
I mean, we've talked before about the possibility of, New Japan fans saying, why isn't the Forbidden Door shows ever happening in Japan? I think, obviously there's the roster there to book it. I still, maybe Karen would be the better person to say as to the degree to which CMLL and AEW stars are viewed as possible, draws or whatever it might be in Japan. I like this more than the kind of like, half-assed sort of, collaborative show with Noah or All Japan where it's going to be like a very, very political sort of one. I think with the fact that you're dealing with companies that are in such different physical territories, you can give, more substantive singles matches on a card like this, as we saw today. Sure, fine, AEW won most of them, but I do think that this is it's a welcome alternative to the sorts of completely within Japan cross-promotional shows that we've been seeing so far. Will they be able to get 2/3 or 3/4 of what the regular Wrestle Kingdom show does? I don't know about that. It'll obviously depend on what they are willing to book ahead of time and who these companies are willing to send over for it. But at least I think it also shows that this collaboration is one that I think AEW and New Japan are probably going to want to kind of double down on, especially in light of everything happening with Noah and the WWE right now as well.
You would think it opens a path for an Okada and an Ospreay to go back to Japan.
Yeah, and the timing would almost be about right at that point. I think, you didn't want to do too much with them in terms of having a crossover. What dream match is there for them to have at this point? But there could be something that could be worked out by that point. And at that point, yeah, absence might have made the heart grow a little bit fonder with those two.
Sure. Thank you so much, Bruce. We can hear more of your thoughts along with Karen Peterson, W.H. Park, Eric Marcotte, Kate from Montreal, John Pollock, myself for G1 coverage starting later this month in the Post Wrestling Cafe.
Looking forward to it. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Thanks, Bruce.